Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Travis and this is Bacon and Backpacking, and you guys will notice I got a little bit different of an intro today. We are back in the West Virginia wilderness, more specifically in the Dolly Sods Wilderness. Drove 5 hours out here today. Got here at about, I think, 9:30. We hit the trail. So we're gonna hike in anywhere from like 1 to 4 miles tonight, try to find a decent campsite. All right, everybody, so just rolled into what I think is home for the night. Hiked about 1.5 miles in. We're right down here by the creek. I think Sarah's gonna post up her tent in that little tiny flat spot right there. And then I'm going to be using these trees over here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the move for day number 2, and it's going to be a nice windy day, a little bit chilly, probably like a high of 55, something like that. So at least there's going to be some sunshine, but I'll tell you what, it's not peak leaves, but there's some really good color out here, so I should be able to get you guys some good shots and hopefully have a nice day of hiking. So this is the third time that Sarah and I have been to Dolly Sods here in West Virginia, but it's the first time we've been here in the fall. I'm going to have to apologize in advance, guys. It is windy. Like I said, gusts up to 40 miles an hour today. We're up here on this plateau, you know, above 4,000 feet, and that's just going to be the way it is. So we'll have to deal with it, but in return, I will give you some very pretty video. Dolly Sods, as always, is beautiful, and Dolly Sods, as always, is very, very fun weather. So I have to apologize. You know, I pride myself in having great audio on all my videos. I just bought a $250 microphone for my new phone that I'm recording with, and you know, it doesn't matter in this kind of wind. You're just gonna be getting a bunch of wind noise, but at least you guys can enjoy the views. But beautiful hike so far, as always. But man, is it windy up here on this plateau. I'd say every bit of 40-mile-an-hour gusts for sure. Just chowing down on a peak refuel. This is the chicken pesto pasta. Never had this one before. Pretty good. Not a big fan of chicken, but this one's pretty good though. I think we're gonna probably end up being 30-minute break. Finish up here and get back to hiking and see some more of these beautiful views. Great views up here. Pretty windy. I'm starting to think that the 10 to 15 mile an hour sustained winds and 40-mile-an-hour gusts was a lie, because for about 2.5 hours it's just been about 30 to 40 sustained. But sure is pretty though. We parked up here like we usually do at Dolly Sods. This is the Bear Rocks trailhead. We follow Bear Rocks Trail up here to Raven Ridge, okay? And then back down to Rocky Ridge, which has brought us down here. What we're doing today is we're gonna go ahead and cut across Breathe Mountain Trail here. And this is gonna dump us off here by Red Creek, and there's a lot of primo camp spots over there. It's pretty busy out here. There's a ton of people, but I would love to be able to get a spot down there by Red Creek. So first time on Breathe Mountain Trail, so time to get it. This is the most desolate campsite that I've ever had in Dolly Sods for sure. You know, we came across this thing on Breathe Mountain Trail and we just said screw it and went for it, and here we are. I mean, it's like a little bit after 3, which is probably the earliest that we've ever been into camp, because here on Bacon and Backpacking we like to, like, you know, be out a day late before we find a campsite. It's just kind of what we do. But yeah, we've got a nice huge open spot over here. Last night was actually like a high of 65 yesterday, and I think it got down to upper 40s last night, 48, something like that. But tonight it's going to get down to about 35, and as you've seen on the video, probably 35 to 40 mile an hour winds all night, and there could be a rain snow mix in the morning. So we have the Wookie 20-degree underquilt. Hammock is the War Bonnet Blackbird. You know, this time of the year, don't really need the bug net, but this is what I have. And then I have the 20-degree Diamondback top quilt. And then there is my underquilt protector, guys. So for the extra 5 ounces, you know, it blocks that wind really good. So it makes it worth it for winter trips. I don't always bring it in the winter, but I mean, 40 mile an hour winds, you know, why not? This underquilt's really good. It has really good coverage. War Bonnet makes great products. But like I said, for the 5 ounces, man, you know, I'm just taking it. So a little bit better pitch than last night. Everything's looking pretty crispy. Like I said, I never really set up tarps, you know, using the panel pullouts here, but it's going to give it a little bit more structure, you know, in the wind, a little bit better wind resistance. So hopefully it's not yanking on my guy outs too much. And also too, the cool thing about it is, as you see how far out. Well, here's a good example. The wind's roaring. That one wasn't too bad. That was probably 20 miles an hour, but you see, basically the whole tarp has more rigidity, and it also gives you all this extra room here where the tarp is pulled out instead of dropping straight down to the ground. So it actually gives you more room, you know, inside, like if you're trying to, you know, get in and out of the hammock and stuff like that. Obviously I've got the doors, you know, shock corded off. So, you know, I'm convinced that you know, this tarp's going to be fine tonight. I don't think you have to worry about anything. You know, there's play in every single guy out point. Everything's shock corded. So, you know, that way if we do get any big gusts, tarp should be fine. But guys, I mean, this is a $430 tarp, you know, and it's really nice. I mean, it was soaked last night, and there's a little bit of water on it, but, you know, Dyneema doesn't hold any water, so it's not any heavier today after last night's rain than it was, you know, when I packed it in on the trip. Unlike, you know, like Sarah's tent over here is like a sil polyester, and she's actually had it up for a while, so it's drying out pretty good. But you know, these things will actually get, you know, pretty soaked, and they'll actually hold water, and it'll make, you know, that material heavier. But anyways, guys, now that we got everything set up here, you know, we'll give you a full-on camp tour here in a second. Came in up that way. Again, that is Breathe Mountain Trail. Came up this way. Got our lovely water source here, that nice reddish tinted Dolly Sods water there. Got some flowing forks converging together right there, so have some nice fresh water. And then over here away from camp is where we have like our food hang set up. So we're going to be hanging our food bags right here. And then over here we have a little bit of harder ground is where we're going to eat and you know, set up our chairs and stuff, kind of hang out for the night. And then obviously over here you guys have already seen, this is where I have my hammock set up, and then Sarah's tent is right back over here on the other side. And then just to give you guys an idea of the Dolly Sods water, so that is a clear container right there. You can see it's sitting next to like a clear bottle. So from what I'm told, that's all the tannins, because Dolly Sods is essentially like a huge bog. So there's a whole bunch of, you know, organic material that's, you know, decomposing and such, and makes its way into the water. But it has like a little bit of a, I don't know what you call, like a bitter taste to it a little bit, but you know, it's perfectly fine for you. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you're a little squeamish, just know that if you're pulling water out of Dolly Sods, it's probably going to look a little bit like that. ladies and gentlemen, I think it's getting to be about that time for the night. I'm going to go ahead and heat up one more peak meal. I got the beef pasta marinara tonight. I just ate it about 5 o'clock. I had some ramen, so I'm not even really that hungry, but we're going to be calling it. You know, it's getting pretty cold. It was hailing a little bit earlier, nothing crazy, just kind of like, you know, BB size hail balls and stuff like that. But point is temperature's going to be dropping, precipitation will be occurring, so I'm going to go ahead and stuff my face so, you know, I don't wake up hungry or anything like that. So I'm going to kind of force feed myself a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and hang our food, and I think that's going to be it for the night, guys. So we'll see you in the morning. All right, everybody, we are Oscar Mike for the final day here. It was pretty windy last night. There were some serious gusts. Tarp held up well. Didn't even really make much noise or anything. No precipitation last night, but it is already starting to kind of rain and sleet and hail a little bit this morning on and off. So we will see what happens, but yeah, I think it's time to beat feet and get on out of here. Got about, I think, 7 miles today, so we're gonna make our way back to the car. All right, everybody, as you can see, we had a slight change of wardrobe. We, you know, started the day off going straight up a hill pretty much, and started getting pretty warm, so that's why the layering system is important. I started, you know, pouring sweat. I was wearing like a base layer, this t-shirt, which is, you know, a warm weather t-shirt. Like, it's got, you know, a bunch of holes in it and stuff. It's meant to ventilate. And then I had my Frog Togs rain jacket on top, but base layer came off first, and then, you know, the Frog Togs is off now. Been a little bit different today, even though it is, you know, significantly colder today. We've been in a lower elevation, more wooded area for the most part, so we haven't been catching as much of the wind. The only thing that's really cold at all has been my ears. So anyways, guys, that's why the layering's important. It's also why I like my pack. I've got that mesh sleeve on the back of my pack, so as we start getting out into these open meadows again like this, I guarantee you that wind's going to be whipping, going to be making me cold, and I will just stop for 30 seconds, throw that shell back on, and then we'll be good to go. Well, guys, the t-shirt lasted about 45 minutes, but like I said, we're back out in these meadows here, and as you can hear, a little bit windy. I think maybe that storm's blowing in that's supposed to bring us some snow and rain, so we're trying to hopefully beat that out of here. right, everybody, we are back on the infamous Dobbin Grade. Granted, we're only on it for maybe like an eighth of a mile or something like that, and then we're hopping off of it this time. I mean, you know, this place is notorious for, you know, swallowing shoes, boots, your whole leg. I mean, last time we were out here, we walked through, you know, probably like mid-thigh deep water. Not a great trail when it's wet. One of the most pretty trails in Dolly Sods, though. I actually love this trail. It's one of my favorites, but you know, being that it's about 40 degrees right now, we're gonna try to not get wet as much as possible. We both have Gore-Tex boots on, and despite how, you know, wet and muddy it's been out here, neither one of us have wet feet. All right, everybody. Well, we're about a mile and a half from the car, so I think it's about time to, unfortunately, start wrapping up this adventure. So this is our third trip to the Dolly Sods Wilderness. First time I've ever been here in the fall. Like I said, we, you know, probably missed peak by like a week or something like that, but you know, all the reds out here in these meadows, and you have like the green of the evergreens, and a lot of the deciduous trees are in various states of, you know, red, orange, yellow, stuff like that. I mean, very pretty trail, guys. You know, you guys need to do yourselves a favor, plan yourselves a trip out here. Okay, just be advised, if you're going outside of, you know, your traditional 3-season weather, just make sure you're prepared. It does have its own unique set of weather and challenges. It is very wet, it is very muddy, and you know, the weather can obviously change on a dime. So just make sure if you guys plan a trip out here that you do come prepared. And if you guys are wanting to plan a trip out here for yourselves, I'm going to put some stuff down in the description box to help you out. But first, before you click any of those external links, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up if you like the trip. And the best way you can help me out, guys, is go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and you get to see, you know, 50 backpacking adventures I have on my channel, plus all the ones that we're gonna have up in the future. Down in the description box, there will be a link to a GPX file. I recorded, you know, our route out here for this trip. And then also too, I've been out here 3 times, so I'm really starting to build a good catalog of waypoints for things like, you know, water crossings, campsites, stuff like that, guys. I don't mark everything I see, but, you know, just kind of like the major ones. So go ahead and download that GPX file. I also have a link to my lighter pack list. So that's basically like an online spreadsheet, and it's going to show you every single piece of gear that I brought on this trip and every other trip that I've ever done. So if you guys are looking for gear, go ahead and check that out. It tells you how much it weighs, everything like that. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining. Without you, I don't have a channel. Please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.